Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV as Liverpool have just drew 1-1 at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea Football Club. A lot to break down and a lot to dissect, and I'll give you that in this match reaction. But first and foremost, I have a direct message for John W. Henry, who came to today's game and watched the performance in which was evident, even if you are as thick as pig shit, like John W. Henry when it comes to football, seeing where the touchdowns are during games. Shout out to Shane, he gave me that joke. But my issue is the fact that now there's no excuse to not go out there and not only get a DM, but one who is going to be adequately available, but also someone who is going to suit the role of the team, suit that role of a number 6 who's good enough for Liverpool. We have to take into consideration, okay, the past 12 months, 18 months, Fabinho was terrible, but he was huge at his peak, and what we are now replacing in terms of Fabinho going out, we need that to be top class. Now, I believe Lavia can be a good option, but I also would still encourage the idea of possibly exploring one more player. My direct message to FSG, watch today's performance, realise that Klopp needs options. It was literally a donut team. We was Donut FC, nothing in the middle. And I appreciate the performance of players like Szoboszlai. I thought he was very productive. I thought there was things earlier in the game that Gakpo done fairly well, but he was playing the number 10 role and didn't really give much cover when it came to coming back and defending. And then McAllister literally wears the number 10, and he was the most box-to-box option that we had on the pitch today. And then who's the solutions to bring on when all these go off? It's Curtis Jones, it's Harvey Elliott, it's offensive options. There is zero chance, and that's why Chelsea were able to get the chances that they were able to get, even though you could suggest that they've got quite an underwhelming attack. And I don't think we faced the best Chelsea today. I think Chelsea came to this game thinking, okay, we haven't quite got everything we want together. We want to build into the season. Their main aim is to just get back into European football, I'm sure. And for us, it's probably to not only get into top 4, but I'd like to think for some of these players, it's to over-exceed. Trent Alexander-Arnold mentioned the Premier League. I've heard Virgil van Dijk mention the Premier League, and rightly so when you're a Premier League champion. But this is why the owners need to come out and accommodate these top-class players in their positions. Because here's the problem. We were getting ran at. Our backline looked terrible today. I thought Konate looked really good. I thought Van Dijk looked very poor. I think Robbo, poor. I think Robbo was the poorest of the bunch. I think Trent had his moments where he looked shaky. Then there was moments where he got kind of stuck in, but it was quite a quiet game overall from Trent. But the problems arose when the midfield got overrun every single time. Chelsea anticipated this. Chelsea knew, okay, as long as we have more legs than you, we will beat you in these exchanges. And because we haven't got a Henderson, or we haven't got a James Milner, or we haven't got a Fabinho who can at least try and compete on that front, try and break the midfield play, that's where the issue lies. We've got no heavy runners. And I thought Szoboszlai done well at covering ground, but if you're the only one running around, you now look like a headless chicken. And no one wants to look like a chicken who's just been strangled and thrown into a burner. So listen, guys, we need to make sure we go forward, get the CDM sorted, get a new centre-back sorted, and then we can focus on everything else in here. Now, based on the performance alone, I was never expecting vintage Liverpool. I was never expecting to score 3, 4, 5 goals. I just wanted to come into this game with the hope that we could get a result, and that is exactly what we did. We went to Stamford Bridge, a tough stadium to play. I don't care if they've been crap recently. They had the new manager bounce. Although I think there's an argument that it was the best time to play them, I also think it could be the worst. It's a horrible thing to play a manager who hasn't even infiltrated his style of play. And also, he's played, I heard from a Chelsea fan that Chelsea have gone with a 4 at the back in every pre-season game. And this game, they went with 3 at the back. That's a big change, and that's something that we probably didn't quite expect. So, the first half, to break it down, I thought Salah was absolutely amazing in the first half. Constant headaches caused towards Chelsea. Hit the bar, got an offside goal, which was very slim. I think it was just offside. But we're talking fine margins. And then, of course, he got the assist for Luis Diaz as well. And what a pass, by the way, continuing the assist rate. It is a big shame that this is Salah's first season where he hasn't scored on the opening day, which I think was a huge part of his frustrations when he came off the pitch. But again, I'm in the past, you know I love Mane. I weren't a big fan of when Mane came off the pitch and was fuming and stuff like this. I think it takes, if you want to be a leader, if you want to set yourself an example, don't moan like a bitch when you're coming off the pitch. That's all I asked for. That was the one disappointing thing from Salah. I thought he was very poor in the second half, great in the first, but when he went off, that was a big disappointment for me. The midfield, Big fan of Szoboszlai. I think that we can give him a lot of flowers today. I think he tried to make things happen. I just don't think people are on his level. I think people in our team just are not on his level. And either he's going to have to lower himself to their level to try and accommodate them and do the more basic stuff opposed to the larger stuff, or he's going to have to start doing things single-handedly, taking some shots from outside the box, which we didn't quite see today. But his set pieces look fantastic. And I thought it was interesting that he is now the new set piece taker, at least from the right-hand corners. I can't remember quite for the left. Maybe that was Trent, who remains on them. And I thought he took some good corners, but the main problem was nobody was urgent enough to run in and get on the end of one of the crosses. So listen, chat, I'm very encouraged by Szoboszlai. I was very encouraged by McAllister. He was obviously the pre-assist, if you will. Hate using that term, but, you know, it's still a pre-assist, I suppose, to the goal that we got in the first half. And yeah, and when I look at McAllister, I think there's so much there. But you just shouldn't be playing number 6. That's all. You need somebody who can do all the dirty work for you, and then you and Sobbo can do the nice things that we all want to see, and the beautiful combinations of plays that we all await to see from those two players. So that's to break down the attack. Happy. The attacking sense of the midfield, I was somewhat happy, but then the defensive aspect, I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed in how we attacked towards the end of the game. No risks, no reward. That was the way it was. We just kept playing it out wide. I don't know what we were trying to do, whether it was look for the cross or we were trying to find that angle where we can, kind of pass it back into the centre of the box. I don't know what the strategy was, but it clearly didn't work. And the only chance that we had of any significance was Darwin Núñez when he had the long shot. Also when McAllister played it through to Núñez, and then the shite touch of Núñez was what kind of limited. But listen, it was the first game. I'm not going to get on to Núñez or anything. I wanted them to come on at the 65th minute, so I thought that was a good choice from Klopp. Just don't think he done that well, but I don't think anyone really did. Ben Doak didn't get a chance to get in the game. Harvey Elliott didn't really. Curtis Jones, same. It was mainly just like Chelsea trying to see it through, and I think we then agreed with Chelsea, like, okay, we're fine. Getting a draw here. Let's just try and keep hold of the ball. It was like we were trying without trying, you know what I mean? It's like when someone's half-heartedly like lifting weights and, they're lifting them, but they're not lifting them properly, and you can see they're not putting everything into them, and they're stopping a little bit earlier than what they usually would. And that's what I noticed today. Like tackles that players would usually go in for, they were now pulling out of, or passes that players would usually make are now not being made, and that's a problem. But it is first game of the season, so I weren't expecting significant cohesion and amazing harmonious football, but what I was expecting was a result, and we got that. Now what I expect, as game by game, we can all understand, as a club our size, we should increase the urgency. Now I expect to see a CDM, and now I expect to see a centre-back. Now that we're not getting Caicedo, or it's very likely we won't, I would now sit there and say we absolutely categorically have to go out there and get 2 top-class players in both of those positions. And I would still argue we need another centre midfielder as well, chat. So please do let me know your thoughts on the game. Please let me know who your man of the match was. I'll give it to Salah. He got the assist, got an offside goal. Weren't great in the second half, but I think overall you could give it to him. Or Alisson or Ibu. I think those two had a shout as well. Alisson stopped us or saved us a good few times, as he did last season. And Ibu was great as well, I thought. Otherwise, I think it'd be too generous to give it to Szoboszlai, and I don't think anyone else really even mentioned a shout for man of the match. So that's just me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. First game, first draw. Not what you want, but it's not the worst either. So let me know all your opinions in the comments down below. Smash a like, only if you enjoy, and if you don't enjoy, then you know what to do. Smash a dislike, but subscribe anyway. Much love to you and your mothers. Up the Reds.